Here's a quick tutorial on how to use the multiplier to find the change in GDP when you have a change in fiscal policy. So the first thing that you want to remember is that the MPC and the MPS always has to equal 1. That's where you start. So what if the government were to cut spending by $10 billion? What would be the total impact on GDP? And for this, we're going to assume that the MPS is 0.5. So if you'll recall, the MPS, if you're using that to get the formula, 1 over the MPS will get you the multiplier, or 1 over 1 minus the MPC. So 1 over 0.5 is 2. So you're going to have a multiplier of 2. If the government is going to cut spending by $10 billion, because it is direct, 2 times 10 billion means that GDP will decrease by $20 billion. So what if, instead of a cut in government spending, what if instead the government chose to raise taxes $10 billion? What would that impact be on GDP? Again, we're going to assume the MPS is 0.5. It's still a $10 billion change, but it's going to be different here, because when you cut people's taxes, they will not spend all that money that you cut it by. So in this case, we can either use the same multiplier we've been using and just reduce it by the amount that people will save, or you can use the tax multiplier. Let's look at it using a tax multiplier. In the MPC over 1 minus the MPC. So our MPS is 0.5. That means the MPC must be 0.5. So 0.5 over 1 minus 0.5 is 1 over 0.5, which means the multiplier is 1, which means 1 times the $10 billion change in taxes means that ultimately GDP will shrink by $10 billion. Simple enough. If you don't want to use a tax multiplier, you can use a spending multiplier. You're just going to have to make one adjustment. So our multiplier in this case is, our spending multiplier is still 2, because 1 over 0.5 equals 2. Now, our initial change in spending is not going to be $10 billion. When you cut people's taxes $10 billion, if the MPS is 0.5, then they're going to save half of it. So you're actually going to change it by $5 billion. 2 times the $5 billion is a change of $10 billion. Same result as when you use the tax multiplier. So you can do it either way. Whichever way is easiest for you to remember. It doesn't matter to me.